So normally I don't really talk about mobile games, since they target a specific audience most of the time and not really have much merit about them, but Sonic Dream Team looked really interesting and I wanted to see how the footage looked in this video for an upcoming video involving a title that is only on mobile devices. So that's why we're here. Sonic in terms of phone releases has been pretty interesting. There have been Sonic games on phones before the invention of the iPhone or the Android. They've been a thing since those phones that flip, you know which ones I'm talking about. But now we have the iPhone and a few Sonic games are on there. Sonic Dash and Sonic Dash 2, which are endless runner games that I think work well for mobile games. Sonic Jump, which I've never played since Doodle Jump really isn't my thing at all. We had the iPhone ports by Christian Whitehead for years that were used in the Sonic Origins collection last year, but my favorite Sonic mobile game was Sonic Runners. It was a really addicting endless runner game that paid tribute to many things from not only the Sonic franchise, but from other Sega properties like Phantasy Star Online. So you could say I know my way around the Sonic mobile game sphere, but one thing I've not experienced as much as others is the Apple Arcade. Apple Arcade is a subscription service on Apple devices that gives you a list of games to play that are exclusive on that platform. Like the only thing I played on it was TMNT Splintered Fate because it was TMNT and I love TMNT. It had VAs I knew, and it was a roguelite, so it seemed right up my alley. This was a make or break situation for most people, and I totally understand why they don't really want to spend money to play Sonic Dream Team just for $7 a month. I did have the necessary tech to play Dream Team. To its benefit, the trailer made the game look really interesting, and the animated opening that was released on YouTube 2 weeks before the game came out looked really cool and had fantastic music to it. Though on the phone, they zoomed it out so that it can fit on it, and now I am sad. So now I am here to ask 3 questions. Is Sonic Dream Team worthy of your time? Is it worth an Apple product to play it? And is it a fun game in general? Let's find out. The premise of Sonic Dream Team is that Dr. Eggman has discovered the Reverie, an ancient device capable of making dreams come true. Upon learning of the Doctor's plans to conquer the world using this object and Cream, Sonic and his friends travel through the villain's dreamscapes to thwart his ambitions, and that's really it for the plot, since the game isn't really all that long. It took me about 3 hours to beat it, which is about the same length as Sonic Forces, so that's something. There is voice acting in this game, with it being the regular 2010s cast that we know from Sonic Generations. Though I will say that Rouge sounds a little off compared to what we got in Sonic Generations.
My pleasure, Sonic. Just don't forget my reward for helping.
Thanks, Big Blue. That's the first time I've ever been stolen.
Just something I noticed. Aside from that, I think that the acting in this game is better than the slow and somewhat stale acting we got in Frontiers, which is something that I thought I would never say in this video or even plan on saying. So that's something as well. We also have a new character introduced in this game named Ariam. She is a calm and pure, but in dangerous situations, she is ready to help those in need. So she's basically a female Sonic without the appearance of Sonic. It's not a story to be all that hyped about, but there are some good moments here and there.
Ugh, oh. I've heard of falling asleep, but that was ridiculous.
Handsome one, isn't he?
Sure, but he's such a brute. No class or tact at all.
Can we get back to stopping Eggman's plans already?
Seaside Dream, giant enemy crab. Why am I not Wait, is that a mustache?
So how did I play this game for the video? The way I played the game was that I played it on an iPhone X with a PlayStation 4 DualShock controller, since that is the Apple device that I have. But there are other ways to play Sonic Dream Team, like the iPad, Mac, and Apple TV. So just remember that this review is going to focus on the iPhone version and what I thought of it overall. Even though I was playing the game on weaker hardware, I thought that the game looked good overall, and I think it all comes down to the art direction of the game. I ran into a load screen that took forever, about 10 minutes into the first session of playing, and when playing Nightmare Factory, the frame rate tanks so hard, and there are moments in Echo City that are really starting to look like the game's trying to put popsicle sticks on glue. So keep that in mind if you're playing this on iPhone X. Now, how about that soundtrack? Since the Sonic series is well known for its OSTs, I really wasn't all that big in the soundtrack of Dream Team. It all just kind of blended together for me, though there are some songs I really do like when I was playing the game, like EO City, but all the bangers in this game seem to be coming from Nightmare Zone, with the standouts for me being Act 1 and the boss from the zone. Have a listen. There are 6 characters you can play as in this game. You start the game as Sonic playing the tutorial. You then unlock Amy right after, which gives you what I call the speed focus characters in the game. The speed focus characters have an air dash move that is normal for a 3D Sonic game, and they have the light dash that can be activated by clicking the jump button twice when the reticle is on the rail trail. I would say the speed focus characters are my favorite to play as. They just have this kinetic energy with them, and it's something I don't get with the other characters. After you beat Scrambled Shores, you unlock Tails and Cream, who are the flight focus characters in the game. The flight focus characters have the ability to fly upwards for a short period of time, and when it engages out, they slowly descend like in the other Sonic games that Tails is playable in. The flight focus characters are my least favorite to play as in this game, since their flight, even with a boost jump, doesn't get you that far. After you beat Dream Factory, you unlock the last 2 characters, Knuckles and Rouge, the traversal focus characters, as I call them. The traversal characters have the ability to glide by pressing the jump button twice, which can get you a pretty decent distance, and have the ability to climb climbable walls, which is as simple as jumping on the wall. The traversal characters are the ones I would play over the flight characters, but I prefer the speed focus characters. Playing the game, I made sure not to play the same character twice as soon as I unlocked all of them, so that I have a good idea of how to play. Other than those, they all have the jump, homing attack, and boost, which is what you expect from a typical Sonic game. I will say that the handling when not boosting is a bit clunky, but that has been a problem with Boost Sonic since day one. The camera is one that has the option to manually turn it or have it try to follow you, which is the option I went for since the camera in Sonic games are not that fun to turn around. But other than that, it's what you expect from a Boost Sonic game. Nothing else much to say. The levels are not all that special in terms of Boost Sonic. The first level in each act is you going through the entire level, and after you beat that level, it opens challenges in the act. I like to think of it like Sonic Colors, where it's one big level divided between 6 acts to play through. There are 3 types of challenges in the game. There are the checkpoint challenges, where you use a certain character to use their abilities to reach the checkpoint within a certain time. The Dream Pieces challenges, where you use the character's abilities to grab the 6 Dream Pieces, and these tended to be my least favorite ones, since they were slow paced. And finally, the time challenges, where you go through the entire stage under a time limit, and these were my favorites since I already love going through these stages, so making them harder was what I loved about them even more. I'd say my biggest problem with the game is that the pacing is all over the place, because you need to go to previous acts to get the Dream Orbs to go to the next level. It was giving me Sonic Unleashed vibes with the Sun and Moon medals, but that's the only problem I have with these levels, besides them getting monotonous. But the bosses in this game are not really all that challenging. Dr. Crabulus can only be fought as either Sonic or Amy, and it's the first boss. Nothing all that special about him, aside from the fact that he's made of a balloon-like material, which is very different from what we expect from Eggman. The Foreman can only be fought as either Tails or Cream, and it's a boss I had a bit of trouble with, mostly because of the camera angle the boss was in. But I don't know if this is a phone thing or it's on the all other versions of the game, but other than that, it's not a bad boss, just okay. The Guardian Hunter can only be fought as either Knuckles or Rouge, and it's a pretty easy boss for a pretty decent way into the game. The whole thing with this boss is that you need to bop back the egg palms at him, and that's all you really do. But I will say this, the endgame of Sonic Dream Team is one that I really enjoy. The final act in the game is Ego City, and they are the longest levels in the game with shortcuts that take advantage of the character's abilities, which I really like. Ego City is just a brighter Eggman land from Sonic Unleashed. We actually pop out more than that stage, and the levels are more fun and fair than that stage. Yes, I did just say that. You then reach the final boss of the game, Nightmare Eggman, where all the characters are used one final time to get REM to the Dream Core. I honestly prefer this over the other bosses in this game because it's more like a level in of itself than an actual boss. After that, you use Sonic one final time to get REM to the Dream Core, and he comes in clutch with this line.
The nightmare's over, Eggman!
They all wake up, Eggman is defeated, and Tails lets Cream talk to REM, ending Sonic Dream Team. And that's about it with Sonic Dream Team. I was surprised by how much I actually enjoyed this game. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was a good time. It barely felt like a mobile game at moments. But I think we need to answer the question that needed to be answered in this video. Is this game worth an Apple Arcade subscription or worth buying an Apple product over? While I did enjoy the game, we need to think about what this game is. A mobile game. This is also a mobile game that is only available on Apple devices, and the fact that you are also paying $7 a month to play this game on it, I would say that it isn't worth an Apple Arcade subscription or an Apple product. It is worth waiting for it if it will ever come to Steam. But if CTR Nitro Fuel taught me anything, not everything can be on PC. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and as always, have a nice day.